Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, I am very happy to be showing you NECA's quarter scale God of War Papa Kratos. You guys know I just reviewed the normal 7-inch size. I guess he was a little bit taller than that. The 7-inch version of this guy recently, and it was a really solid figure. You can't beat it for the price. And this guy, I have to say, is even more impressive. I don't know what it is. I assume they're mostly the same sculpt. My other one's packed away because I'm moving in a couple of days here, so I can't compare them directly, but something about this one, other than just being massive in general, makes it even more imposing. It looks to me like maybe his shoulders are even broader and he's more badass looking. I don't know, but this figure is super awesome. It's so very impressive. So I'm just really happy to be showing it to you guys. It's really cool. He's too big to go on the display stand I normally have. He weighs too much and didn't want to spin, so that's why he's just standing there. But let's go ahead and not take him off the stand so that we can take a closer look. This guy stands just about 18.5 inches, and he's not standing perfectly straight up and down. His legs are spread out just a little bit to be in like a hero pose, so you can get a little bit more out of him, and that puts him at just about 47 centimeters. So he's not humongous, but he does have a little bit of extra size to him. That's pretty cool, I think. And he's just massive. This is a big dude right here. This is maybe the heaviest one I've gotten from them. I can't think of one that was any bigger. Maybe Batman? I don't know. This one's pretty darn cool, though. I really like this, guys. And as you can see, obviously, right off the bat, the details are just great. There's texture throughout the entire thing because it's molded in that darker skin tone-y plastic, or maybe it's just painted, I don't know. But then it has the white dry brushing on top to make it look like the ash. Just looks so nice. They did a little bit of shading for the beard and mustache. His mustache has a little bit of gray in there, so that's cool. Unfortunately, mine has like a little bump right there on the nose, but I mean that's hardly a big deal. But everything looks really good. It's worth noting though that the red stripe around him has that same issue as the little one, where it's kind of just faded on the sides, where it's kind of like not overlapped properly. I'm not sure what's going on. I went back and looked at the trailer for it, the cinematic trailer, the story trailer, whatever it's called. Sometimes it kind of looks like that, but I'm not sure if it's supposed to. So that definitely could look a little bit better. It's not great there. Then as far as everything else goes, it's just fantastic. I mean, if you look through the loincloth type thing, whatever that is, just so much detail in the sculpt and the paint. You really can't complain about this at all. You're so easily getting what you're paying for with this guy. There's just so much going on. Very nicely detailed, all the way down to the boots. Good coloring, good sculpt. I will point out that his pupils, or not his pupils, the sclera is black on this guy. Everything in his eye is like either gray or black with just a white dot. So I'm not sure what's up with his eyes. I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be normal. If you look at the official artwork on this guy, for the box anyway, which is the same artwork that you see in the game, his eyes are kind of in shadow, so they look kind of grayed out, but I'm pretty sure he's supposed to have normal human looking eyes. I'm pretty sure. So that's a little bit weird. Is it a deal breaker? Probably not, because being black, it kind of, and glossy, it just reflects a little bit, so it kind of doesn't look terrible. But yeah, he does have all blackish gray eyes, which is just kind of strange. This is still a floating piece, still very nicely sculpted. So as far as accessories go, we do have the axe, which is just as well done as it was on the little one. I can't tell if this one's supposed to actually come apart to go in and out of his hand. There's a seam in there, but it feels like if I pull on it, it's going to break. And his hand is soft enough that I was able to just wedge it in there. But the axe is done really nicely. It's a really cool sculpt and a good paint job. We do still have the shield. It's essentially the exact same thing as the little one, but bigger. A little bit of wash issue on mine, but it just does end up looking like dirt and blood and stuff, so that's fine. Really nice paint job on the inside. I do want to point out the fact that the little forearm gauntlet piece, that was easily lost on the first one. This one wedges in much nicer. If you... Oh, okay. So it does wedge in much nicer, unless you put it in the wrong way. So if you put it in upside down, it doesn't work. But if you put it in this way, it sticks in there a lot better than the little one. It's still maybe not as tight as it could be once this is stretched out from the shield pegging in, but this isn't just going to pop right out. So you should be okay. No issues there. Again, don't put it in upside down, because then it won't stay in. But we're good. We're good now. And then we do, lastly, still have his little knife, which is nicely tucked away in his belt. No problems there. One other thing that this figure comes with is this big goofy display diorama thingy, which is just a giant piece of really flimsy paperboard, cardboard stuff. Let me move the camera back so you guys can see it a little bit. It's not a terrible idea in concept, but in execution, it's just really, really not good. It's just really flimsy, and as you can see, the edges, it's warped. It's really warped out of the package, and then by the time you put it together, it's just really flimsy and floppy, and it's humongous. I mean, my review table is 4 feet across, and it is almost, it's probably about, I don't know, I'd say 3 feet across. So I don't know who's got room in their display room for this thing, but it's just, I don't know. I think it's going to end up in the garbage for pretty much everybody who gets this figure. I don't really understand the concept behind, I mean, I understand the concept, but it just seems like a bad idea. And just so you have an idea, let me grab KRATOS real quick. If you wanted to display him on it, that's how big it is compared to him. So he's already 18 inches tall. It's taller by about 2 inches and way wider. And it just gives you the cardboard cutout of his son and the title on the background. So, I mean, if you're into this sort of thing, I guess that's fine. But you really can't even pose him with the sun being there. If you can get it to stand up even, half the time the thing just wants to fall over. So, yeah, if you like this kind of thing, cool. If you don't, then it's really just going to end up in the garbage. It's just really flimsy. The print work is nice. The quality is fine. But I don't know. I think it's... I don't know how much they would have spent on something like this. I have no clue about this kind of thing, but I can't imagine it was that cheap, so I feel like they could have better spent that money on something else. But I imagine some people will like it, so I'm curious. If you guys like this kind of thing, let me know, just out of curiosity's sake. For me, it's a total waste. I have nothing I can do with it. It's way too big and not good enough quality. It's going to detract from the collection, so I don't like it, but I'm curious if you guys do. The articulation on this guy is basically identical to the little one. We'll start at the head and work our way down. We have a ball peg. I'm guessing it's 2 ball pegs again for the head. It's a lot stiffer, but yeah, really no problem posing this guy's head. Really, really nicely done. Very well executed. Love that. So organic looking. That's one of the things I like about NECA. Their stuff looks organic. It's very, very nicely done. Very pleased with that. For the shoulders, not quite horizontal. Not going to get the best range out of that. You do have full rotation though. Ooh, that's a bit of a bummer. So it is molded in that skin tone, but apparently it just scratches off when you pose it. So be aware his armpits might not look great. I suppose that's not the biggest deal, but it is something worth mentioning. So you do have the full rotation in the shoulder. You have your bicep swivel. It's all pretty standard stuff. Double jointed elbow. No problems at all there. That's good. And for the wrists, we are still using the ball hinge wrist, which is really cool. We don't often see that on a NECA figure. This one seems to be separating though, and I haven't really done much with it. Maybe that's just the way their hinge is designed, because it's not actually coming off or anything. It's not really loose either, so maybe that's just the way it's designed. So that's good though, ball hinge wrist. No upper torso articulation on this guy. So we just have that lower torso, same as the little one, which is really just a little bit of play here and there. You're going to get some rotation out of it. It's very stiff though, so be careful. I don't know if it's going to break anything, but it's possible. On a big figure like this, you can really crank down on something and break it very easily. But it feels like it's just a ball peg in the torso somewhere. This piece feels like it's connected again, probably in between the torso and the crotch. For the hips, we have our ratchets going out to the side. Not as tight as they normally are, but you do get basically full splits. Obviously the skirt's in the way a little bit, but you do get pretty good range out of that. I don't think it's enough. It's loose enough that he's gonna fall over or anything, but you don't really need that much force on him to move those. So do with that what you will. Going forward, definitely have a stiffer ratchet, and you can bring the leg pretty far forward. Not too far. And on this side, let's see. Yeah, the skirt moves pretty well, so it doesn't really get in the way too much. So that's fine. You do have a thigh swivel on either side, so that's good. The knees, just like the little one, really good range. No issues at all. For whatever reason, the knee pads are kind of tacky. They're kind of sticky. The paint doesn't actually come off, but they're a little bit sticky. Not the biggest deal. They look fine. So I don't know, I guess just be aware that they're kind of sticky. They don't really have, there's no real downside to it other than they feel sticky. And then for the ankles, we have the same hinge. It feels a little bit more limited than on the little guy, but we do have the hinge forward and back and the ankle rocker. So ultimately it is just a giant version of the little one, and maybe a little bit more imposing looking and a lot bigger. So I can't not recommend it. I mean, you guys know I really like the little one. And this is just a giant version of that. So there's a whole lot of awesome going on here. I am very pleased to have it. I'm so tempted to get a PS4 so I can get back into the God of War games. You know, I said I'm not going to be playing this when everybody's like, oh, you don't even know what you're talking about. Well, I played the other ones. I just don't have a PS4 to play this one. So get off my back. So yeah, this is a really cool figure. You definitely want to pick this one up if you're into God of War or quarter scale figures or just really cool figures in general. You really, really want to pick this one up. I didn't mention it in this review. I mentioned it in the little one. This is a separate piece over here on the arm, so you can still pose the arm, no problem at all. Of course, there may be some limitation from this piece up in the shoulder, but overall, it's very well handled, so you don't have to really worry about that. But yeah, go ahead and get one, guys. It's really awesome. Easily one of my favorite quarter scale figures. They just keep impressing me, guys. This one's really, really awesome. So thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I have new videos up every single day. We talk about action figures, movies, TV shows, video games, all kinds of fun stuff. So make sure you come back for that. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. And in the meantime, keep collecting.